I'm Aiman. Welcome back to another of my auto repair videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install your AC compressor onto your 2006 Hyundai Santa Fe, which also applies to 2002 to 2006. Now, if you haven't checked out my previous video on the removal of the compressor, go check it out because it's a very interesting method. I've seen other videos where instead of removing the compressor through the wheel well, they take off the entire front of the car. So if you haven't checked out that video, it might be important for you to watch this because this is a kind of a unique method. In our case, we also have a unique procedure now that we need to do because we were not able to remove the nut securing this middleman piece to our AC line. So that means that we have to sort of MacGyver this in order to install it. So when we install this, we're going to install it halfway, tighten this, and then go from there. Alright, so here's the method we're thinking. We're going to try to get the low pressure line as close to the left as possible, to the passenger side, so that when we install it, when we finagle this through the wheel well, we can hopefully tighten it onto here. So let's try it. So I have to finagle this high pressure line up first. And we're going to make sure that this cap here is a bit loose, but not too loose, so that we can take it out and then put the new bolt easily. And we're just going to try to finagle this up, make sure we don't lose any of the bolts. Okay. And then from here, we're going to try to see if we can tighten that bolt. Okay, I think we can sit it here. Let's see. It looks like... Okay, we can hold this up here just in case we were scared of it falling. Where's the high pressure line? It looks like we might be able to insert it. Okay, so we finally got that connection on. We have the Allen wrench bolt here. Okay, I'm just waiting for that focus. Okay, so now that we have this connection on, that's the hardest part of this entire process. The rest of it is ensuring that we get the compressor onto the lip that's supposed to sit on, putting in the bolts, and then making sure all the connections besides the bolts are fastened. Okay, so I'm gonna go from the bottom to make sure that it's aligned properly. And let me just locate the holes for the bolts. Okay, so there's one hole here, another hole here. So we're going to use this. Can you see? We're going to use this. We're going to use this right here as a way to align it, and also, let me see. Oh, and also this one right here. Okay, you can't see it behind the filter, but you'll see when we put this on. So this one right here is supposed to be on the edge of the compressor that is closest to you. So let me lift this up. And now this bolt should be aligned with that part. So we're just going to get it onto that lip. You can see, actually, from this angle, you can actually see the lip where it's supposed to go on. You see that L shape? That L shape is where the compressor is going to sit on. And now, you just want to get it on that lip on the other side. Or actually, yeah, there we go. Whew! Now you just want to insert the bolts at the bottom. Make sure that this plate here faces to the inside of the car. You want to push that bolt in. Maybe screw it in by hand a bit. You can come in later. And same thing with this bolt on the other side. Just screw that in a bit. You don't have to screw it in entirely, and it's probably best that you don't screw it entirely so that it leaves you a bit of room to finagle the top bolts. Okay. Let's move on to the top bolts. We should probably do that from the top actually, because it's hard to reach through. Okay, I apologize for like the kind of like weird way that I'm trying to explain this. So it's kind of hard to put this into place and explain what I'm doing at the same time. But I remember that when we were taking this out, we went from the top left in a circular motion to the top right. And the reason we did the top right last, removing it, is because it had a little circular piece that was on the end of it. So we're going to loosen that one first. And actually, I don't know if this would be able to fit through. It might not be able to fit through. So we were able to get the top bolt in. It took a lot of extensions and changing things around and going around the lines. But finally, we got it in, and we're torquing it, or really not torquing it, but we're tightening it from the bottom. Okay, and it's important that this is tight because, you know, this is connected to the compressor, which is connected to the belt system, and it's important to make sure this is, you know, not rocking back and forth because that would kind of be bad for the belt. But now, after we've gotten that bolt down, we're going to go through these two bottom bolts. So let me take out my Milwaukee and tighten them. Okay. And now I'll go back and tighten that with the hand wrench. Same thing with this one. Make sure that the plate right here, make sure that it's facing towards the driver's side, and then secure it. Okay, just tighten that a bit. Okay, and then we're going to go to the top and tighten that last one up here, which I don't know if I'll be able to reach out with my Milwaukee, but we'll give it a try. Okay, so we tightened all the bolts. Now what we need to do is put in all the harnesses and all the lines in the correct place. So we'll plug this cable back in. Okay, on the bottom, let me just secure that. Okay. Next is we're going to insert the lines. So high pressure goes into here. And okay, I have the bolt. Where's the nut? The nut is right here. Let me put the nut back on. I'll tighten that later, but first let me insert the low pressure line. So that one needs to be re-angled downwards. Okay, so we just need to insert the screw and then tighten it. Okay. Okay, so now we tighten the nut and the bolt connecting the high pressure lines, or fastening the high pressure lines and low pressure lines. Don't need to put too much torque on it. And we're going to put the dipstick back. At this point, I think all the connections have been made. I'm trying to remember if there's anything that we did, that we disconnected in order to get a better grip or a better view. I think we might have to reconnect the old wire from the compressor to that other cable. So I'm gonna go from the bottom, and I'll let you guys know when I do that. And you'll remember that when we installed the new compressor, that this top part was essentially like clipped to the wire. So that's why it's a bit hard to finagle out. But now that we've got this out, we can connect these two wires. And I can't do it on camera because I'm gonna be blocking the angle. Okay, so that connection there doesn't seem to be very stable. Like, it doesn't seem to lock in place. I can actually push this out a bit. So maybe it's because it's an aftermarket part. That's not a perfect connection. So after I plug this back in, we're probably gonna put tape back on it just to make sure it stays that way. But you might want to keep a lookout for that. Okay, so we installed the compressor, and we checked it with a vacuum pump in order to make sure that the pressure in the compressor remained constant. And that if it remained constant, that means there was no leaks. Now, if there was a leak in the pressure, the first place we would probably look is not that the compressor is broken, but the O-rings. If there was a leak, that means that the seal with the O-rings is probably not perfect, which means that we probably have to replace them. For you guys, that probably won't happen because unlike us, you probably replace the O-rings. But if you see a leak in your air pressure, the first place you'd probably look is the O-rings. And in our case, the pressure looks to remain constant, so we don't have to replace the O-rings, thankfully. Now, by the way, if you want to check out our video on this vacuum pump and this manifold gauge set, I have a video on it, so go check that out. And I'll see you there. But I guess that's it. I'm Aiman, and today I showed you how to remove and replace the AC compressor on a 2006 Hyundai Santa Fe, which applies to 2002-2006 models. After this, all you need to do is install the serpentine belt, reconnect the battery, put the engine cover back on if you still have that, and you'll be good to go. And also the radiator cover, and also the latch for this. But I think we also have a video on removing the radiator cover because that's originally what we were going to do in order to access it. But I guess now that we don't have to do that. Anyway, I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We got videos on EyeOnAiman, and I'll see you there. But for now, signing out. Peace.